SWMRS. Gonna say it right. That's how all the millennials say it. Their album is called Berkeley's on Fire. And let's give a background on them because they're a new band to all of us, you know. So they're a 4-piece punk rock band from Oakland, California, who formed in 2004. This is the group's 4th studio album, but it is their 2nd album under the name SWMRS. When they started releasing studio albums in 2011, they were called Emily's Army. By 2012, SWMRS were playing more underground punk shows and some West Coast dates on the Warped Tour. And after their 2nd record, Lost at 17, the group changed their name to SWMRS in 2014. But then, the following year, they shortened it to just the 5 letters, just in time for their next album, Drive North. So, sorry, so many name changes.
Just keeps reinventing themselves.
This album was released on the label Fueled by Ramen and produced by the band's drummer, Joey Armstrong. Now, fun fact. Joey Armstrong is the son of Green Day singer-guitarist Billy Joe Armstrong, who also produced their first 2 albums.
Oh.
So being that this is my first time hearing them, and ours too, we're all wondering if this is actually a talented band or will the nepotism play a part in their slight popularity. So when the title track starts, the album, I was confused. So I was like, is this like an American band of 20-year-olds, or is this like a British post-punk album from 1979?
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, the bouncy guitar riffs, the steady drum beats, along with like singer Cole Becker's faux English accent reminded me of like a band like, you know, Gang of Four or Wire. It was surprising to me to hear like such a young band is like inspired by like music obviously their parents listened to, because you know, Green Day probably listens to like that kind of punk.
Is this considered punk?
Like,
because it
post-punk is fine.
Millennial punk.
Millennial punk.
Punk light.
Yeah, let's say that.
Like, this isn't the punk I remember.
Right. Shaking your fist. This isn't the punk I remember.
Kids, you crazy kids, get off my punk lawn.
So I'm gonna go out and say, even though I'm saying like they're borrowing from like, you know, that sound, I wasn't like turned away because I like those bands. So I was like, okay, I'm with it. Then we get to the song Trash Bag Baby, right? It's like an upbeat, like alternative rock song that has like the catchy lead guitar and the throbbing bass line similar to something you hear from like the Strokes. And it sounds like Cole is like trading vocal duties with one of the other band members throughout the verses. Like they're kind of going back and forth. And I was like, that was a nice touch. They actually remind me also a little bit of the 1975 a bit on those couple songs. And I remember you Devin, as well. We liked that album a lot. Yeah. So going so far, where were you at with this album as it was going?
I thought it was pretty good for someone who like never heard of this band before. The very first song with Berkeley's on Fire, I thought the vocals sounded so absurd. But like that's why I was getting into it. So I'm like, yo, is the whole album gonna be like this? Like Berkeley's on fire. I was like, yeah, all right, it's weird. It's weird right now, man.
Yeah.
But it gets like a lot more normal like throughout the whole album.
I think it like goes like, you know, a wave. Like the song I mentioned, like, you know, when they go like for that alternative rock sound, it's like what you kind of would hear like on modern radio nowadays, or what you hear on the radio back in like 2003. And then like they go like more indie garage rock, and they go on that song Hellboy. Like I like that like energy with the distortion on that song. It's like a punky jam that hits all the right notes, and like the buzzsaw guitars, the pounding snare drum when they're like saying Hellboy. Like I was like, yes. But I want to say like when we get to like the whole like quirkiness of it, my favorite song was Lose Was Lose.
Oh really?
Because indie dance punk song, I thought that was a banger, dude. Like harkens back to the 80s with like the bass groove, and as well as the quirkiness when he's like, I lose my mind. I like that, you know. I just like, because I missed the weirdness of music back in the like the Talking Heads, the B-52s, and Fishbone. Like when they were bringing that into the mainstream, like, you know, it made me think about that. So that's why it's so weird that there's like, you weren't even alive then. Why are you guys sounding like, you know, stuff like, you know, I listen to? Not mad, but I'm just saying it's weird.
Yeah.
So let's go to Caroline. Like, you know, you immediately agree with me with the first song sounding like it was like 40 years old.
Yes.
You know, so what do you think of this?
I can't remember the artist, but like I can hear the song and the singer in my head of like this UK like 80s punk band or something. Obviously, I can't pin it down like the actual song or the actual singer that it reminded me of, and I'm like,
Buzz Cox, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, are they British? Like, did they literally like? Because I don't like researching the bands too much, if at all. So I was like, are they? He sounds British when he's saying like Berkeley, but Berkeley's in like
California.
Yeah. So like, why would you? Is there like a part of London called Berkeley? So like, I don't know. I was really like shocked by that.
So I'm getting a vibe that it bothers you.
No.
No? Okay.
But like now that I know like the Billie Joe Armstrong like connection, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just like so that part didn't bother me too much. But the way it sounded, the band sounds like they were incredibly successful in the mid 2000s and then figured, hey, we're so popular now that we're only going to be more popular in 2019. So they time traveled here and released this album. Okay. Because like if this album had come out, if this band had existed in the early to mid 2000s, I would have like fallen in love with it. It would have been like my favorite band back when I had like completely different taste in music. But like it feels out of time. Like it feels like it's misplaced. Probably partially because of that like heavy like 70s 80s like British punk influence.
Yeah.
And then I also was bothered that like songs 2 and 3, which was like the one where he was like drinks too much coffee, and then Trash Bag Baby, they sounded so similar. I literally thought that they were like 2 chapters of one song.
I agree. They did sound kind of the same.
Of course, I have like a million complaints about every album, but like I still didn't hate it.
Okay.
I had fun listening to it.
But I think some of the songs sound more like modern. Like, so you kids out there that never heard them are probably saying, "What about for us? What about us millennials? We don't want to hear like our parents' music."
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, you got April in Houston. That song is like a softer, mellow pop rock song that has more of what you expect to hear from a band this age. The song has like standard guitar plucking, riffs, poppier instrumentation. He's singing about like how everybody wants to get him high, but not when he's low. It's so sad. You get the IKEA date song, which I'm not too crazy about the lyrics, but I like the fact that they're being diverse with their music. IKEA date touches on like the desire to find a domestic partner. The song Caroline mentioned, Too Much Coffee, paints like a picture of like the different cities that the band has visited and on their tour, I'm assuming. And then when we get down like to the lyrical content, they're hitting them political things like commentary, like the political riots at the University of California. I think that's what Berkeley on Fire is about. Violence in the name of religion. They talk about that, as well as the reference to the Siboney's Liberation Army. There's even like an observation on current technology on the song Lonely Ghosts when he says, "It feels like we're chewing this dog's bone. We're desperate and glued to our phones." I don't know if that's what the whole song's about, but I mean,
I thought it was about them like feeling out of place, amongst like other types of like artists or music or whatever like that,
or like just people, socialism.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they were doing in the corner, just on their phones. So I thought about that as I wrote that down. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't read into it too much, but you're probably right, Devin. But another song that I didn't read into too much, but I liked, was the song Bad Allergies.
I really liked that song.
It's got like a 60s psychedelic vibe to it. Kind of like sunny acoustic guitar, quiet background chimes, a swaying beat. But what I liked most about the song is how well I related to the lyrics, because I got allergies in the springtime too. This track could be my anthem every time spring comes around. So I don't know if that was supposed to be a metaphor for something, but now I don't want to do that because Devin was like, shut down the last song. It's probably just literally, that's what it's about. I got allergies,
Write what you know.
Yeah, exactly. What else you got to say about it, Devin?
I thought the song was about like somebody.
Of course, it was deeper than I thought.
Here we go.
Like, I thought it was about like when you're like in a relationship with somebody and they're just confessing to you that they're not perfect. And like, I think one of the lines was like, "Oh, like I don't want to see your friend" or something, or if I might, something like that. Like, it was talking to me. It was like talking about the imperfections of somebody. Okay. And saying sorry, I got allergies, but just a way of saying like sorry, this is just like how I am, and something like that.
We just heard 1,000 Mind explode right now.
That's a great reading of that.
Okay, wow. Good look at that, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything more you got to say, Caroline, about the record?
I mean, overall, I think I've said everything I wanted to.
In that case, why don't you give us your final rating then?
It's funny we mentioned the Bad Allergy song because I found that it was like the last couple of songs like around there where it really does start to become like interesting and different. So it kind of makes me sad that like that's when it ended, and it's like why didn't they bring more of that into the whole album? But it's good like background music. It's like peppy, so like you could do homework while listening to it. It'll keep you like upbeat. It's again something good to drive to. So I'm saying download it.
Okay, I was worried it was going to be actually lower, but that's good.
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it, all right.
It was like I want to listen to it again, but I don't want to give it money. I only have so much money.
They don't need it. They got their data concerned.
Right, Jesus.
All right, what do you think, Devin?
I thought it was pretty good. Like nothing about it really like stood out to me. Really, it was nice to listen to. I think a couple of the songs it felt like just like you're going to the beach, kind of songs, like kind of surf songs.
West Coast stuff, you know.
Yeah. The two songs that I liked that were like heavier to me were the Hellboy song and the Lonely Ghost song, and I really enjoyed those. But overall, I thought it was just all right, so I'd say download this.
Download this, all right. Yeah. So, like, even though you get like the throwback sound that we mentioned, you get like the guitar rock driven 70s sound, you get the new wave 80s sound, get the indie rock sound of the 90s. I think SWMRS still injects some cleverness into their songs to make it sound refreshing, even when it's all nostalgic familiarities. I even love how like they book in this album with that quirkiness again, with the track Steve Got Robbed, like the hip hop post punk song.
Yeah.
I like this is cute. So I think these guys are bringing like a uniqueness to modern punk rock that I definitely surprisingly endorse. So I want to say, buy this. I think it's a good album. Like, you know, I really think this band is on the verge of, you know, not crazy about the name, of course, but I think they're on the verge of, you know, being popular in some aspect or making some moves in the future in all kinds of different musical genres. So let us know what you think in the comment section of the new SWMRS album. Did you like it or did you not like it? Are you on the fence? Whatever. We want to know your opinions in the comments, or you can send us an email. Let us know your thoughts. We appreciate that.